Hello and welcome to Wargaming with Garry. I gotta be honest, this is my third attempt at this. I keep screwing it up. So look, my excuse is it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't sleep. I really wanted to get on with something which I've been asked to do or been requested to do. My wife's upstairs still sleeping, so if I appear unusually quiet today, you're going to have to turn the sound up. That's because I don't want to wake her up, she'll kill me. So what am I doing today? What is the plan? I'm going to put my glasses on because I made a few notes, not many, just to try and keep me on course, stop me going off on tangents, which I always do, which I'm about to do now. Richard, or if you might know him as Captain Morgan from Wargamers Unification Group, right? I'm looking down because I don't want to get that wrong. He's asked me if I would review a Wargames, a tabletop battle grid Wargaming miniatures rule set, second edition. Now, he said this is a friend of his, otherwise he would have reviewed it himself, but it's a friend of his and he didn't want to be biased. I think it's actually family members. I think he sent me an email a while ago just explaining that. Oh, it was on Facebook, and he said that it was family members who had put this together. So he didn't want to be biased and he wanted to get an honest review. So and I said, yeah, I'm more than honoured. I'm flattered even that he would ask me to do it. And something which is quite nice, he said I can keep it afterwards. I don't need to send it back, which is a really lovely idea. So thank you very much, Richard. I will add this to my ever-growing library of books on military wargaming. Brilliant. Now, what I would say, if you haven't been across to his channel, Wargamers Unification Group, please go and have a look. It's well worth having a look. He does some lovely work. He does a lot on my brain's like, it's 5 o'clock. I did say it's 5 o'clock, so I have an excuse. But he does a lot on Games Workshop and 40k, and he I think he collects Space Marines. There's some beautiful figures he's painted up, so that's well worth having a look at. Go over there, subscribe. It's well worth having a look at. He's often the guest on Idic Beer's channel to do some battle reports. So Nick. So go and have a look. Subscribe. Leave some comments. It's all good. So, excuse me, I'm just finished breakfast. So, as I said, he asked me to review this, which I was happy to do. Like the first thing you notice is a lovely illustration on the front, very clear what the title is, and it's produced by Michael and Joyce Smith, and the title is, as you could see, Tabletop Battles, Grid Wargaming Miniatures, second edition. And I've got to say, I really like it. It's the grid. I've seen grid wargaming before, and it's always reminded me of literally playing chess. So, and I think that's quite a nice connection because my understanding is, and I'm more than happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, is that chess was in actual fact the first type of wargaming system that was used in ancient times. So. Yeah, so the grid, it kind of works really well, I think. Now, in the very beginning, it talks about that type of figures that you could use, periods, and I think it covers just about everything. It says ideal for 6, 10, 15, and 20 mil. Which you can do like whole regiments. Like as the figures get bigger, you will have to decrease the amount of figures you put on a base. But it also says 28 mil. You could also use 25 mil for a skirmish game. So you can see already it's for like large scale battles, but you could also use it for a skirmish game battle, which is quite good. It covers just about every single period and range you could think of. It does all historical ranges from ancient to modern. It also covers fantasy, so if you're madly interested in orcs like I am, or vampires, you can do a fantasy battle using those, and anything else that the fantasy range covers. You can also do space games, such as Space Marines. It also covers aerial war game and naval war game. So I mean, it really does cover a huge spectrum when it comes to the war game genre. So whatever your wargaming interests are, it will cover it. There's a very nice foreword which talks about. I'm not showing it all as I go along, because I don't think that I've tried that before with other books. I don't have the technical knowledge of doing having the page and the little screen, with me in the corner talking about the product. So I'll just read it, and then perhaps we'll flip through it a little bit afterwards. It's got a huge table of contents, and the table of contents covers a whole. I mean, like it's a huge piece of work. This really is comprised into a very a relatively small area. So so it talks about campaign rules. Actually, there's a whole piece here on the American Civil War, which they've done separate from the historical because of the different components which were used and different types. Because it talks about the combatants on both sides were very much untrained. They were trained on as they went to the field, as they went to battle. So they were learning so they were civilians dressed as soldiers. So it says in here, it talks about there's a bit on here about starvation. There's it's got the obvious ones: movement and distance, firing, the turn, cavalry dismounting, and or mounting. It's just got starvation. There's a bit on there of starvation. I mean, my goodness, the table of contents. There is so much scope. You from what I'm just those few things there, ammunition and explosives. It just covers so much. Figure organisation it talks about, and there's a nice picture of what this a battle using this management system would look like. So I think that's a very nice thing to do. Then it just goes through. It talks about the artillery, panicking animals. I mean that in itself just it goes. It is very very useful. It also has a roster sheet, as you can see there. So look, so I said I wasn't going to show pictures, hold the book up, and now I am. But I've got to say I've played a little bit with this already. I did I used the skirmish with my 28mm figures, and I thought it worked very well. I was very pleased. It was easy to understand. There's a nice bit about setting up, so that was quite nice. So there's a lot there which I was very pleased with. I also thought, I haven't done it yet, but I also thought you could, by using 25 and 28mm, you could actually use one figure to represent a whole regiment or a whole battalion or a whole corps, if that's what you wanted to do. And it'd be very simple. One figure represents, so one infantry figure, one infantry regiment, cavalry, a cannon, a tank, whatever it is your thing is. It would be quite simple to use. It's got campaign rules on there, so and it does really go into. It also has a campaign map. I think this is a map of Italy. Yeah, so that, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a map of Italy. So that I think that's very helpful. You know, so you can use that. I'm going to sneeze in a minute, so bear with me. I'm just looking here. There's Space Fleet Combat Solo Wargaming. So if you wanted to have a wargame on your own, which is definitely what I'm doing at the moment. Although I am going to get in touch with Fraser again. I'm really laid back. There's one of the things about me is I'm a pretty laid back person. One of the bad things about me is I'm a pretty laid back person. I am going to get in touch with you. I have made I've sent a couple of messages, but I need to follow up on it. Just to ask Fraser from Von Kettering about going to his wargame club, because I'm really interested in doing that. It sounds like a blast. Oh, there's a bit here about weather, and yeah, I'm telling you, this is such a nice I think a nice book. It's also got a fantasy map. So if you wanted to use that, you know, if you didn't want to use your own fantasy map, and you wanted to use their fantasy map, you could do that. But by pointing that out, it gives a really good idea. Oh, also that you might notice there's a map there which covered the whole of Europe. So yeah, and it's just there's here about like the different areas or the different countries and the setup of those armies at a particular period. So that's got it talks about the terrain, movie, the fantasy. There's a hang on. There's a cheat section. I'm not going to go into the cheat section. If you want to have a look at that, get the book. But I think it's quite interesting that there's a cheat section for Land Wargame, Fantasy, Magic. Yeah, so then there's quite a bit there. Solo Wargame, Turn Action, Notes and Sources. Look, I think this is a lovely piece of work. I'm not just saying that because Richard's given me one free. I would, if they had been a salute, I would probably have picked a copy of this up because I think it's a very nice book. So for me, Richard, and to Michael and Joyce Smith who produced it, I think it's a lovely piece of work, and I think well done. Round of applause. Nice one. All the very best, and I'll see you later. Take care.